July 16th, 2011. It's a Saturday night in Port St. Lucie, Florida, and it's heavy, humid. We're talking about a subdivision, the kind designed for quiet, for anonymity. But on this one street, on this one night, that quiet is just shattered. You've got dozens of teenagers, loud music, literally throttling the air, the bass vibrating through the foundation of this ordinary house. Red plastic cups everywhere, laughter, shouting, just the raw, chaotic energy of a huge house party. And right in the middle of all this, someone lifts up a cell phone and snaps a picture. The person at the center of that photo is 17-year-old Tyler Hadley. He's in the kitchen, holding a plastic cup, and he's surrounded by the blur of his friends. But when you zoom in on Tyler, his eyes are heavy, they're dark and just completely detached. His face is blank. It looks like a simple snapshot of some teenage party, except it's not. The reality inside that frame is a kind of horror that is, well, it's almost impossible to imagine, because just a few hours before that photo was taken, Tyler Hadley used a claw hammer to murder both of his parents, and their bodies are in the master bedroom, just feet away from where he's standing, posing for that picture. The party is roaring right outside a fresh crime scene. How a boy could do something so monstrous and then, with this apparent calm, just throw a party in the exact same house. So let's start with the lead up. The chronology of that day, July 16th, is absolutely essential. Earlier that afternoon, Tyler Hadley took drugs. Sources say he swallowed 3 ecstasy pills. He was telling friends he felt weird, amped. He even used the word ready. So this wasn't just a high, it was a psychological state. He was on the edge looking for some kind of release. And when he got home, the tension that had been building with his parents, Blake and Mary Jo, it snapped. The attack started with his mother. She was at the computer working on something, and Tyler came up from behind her. He was holding a claw hammer. He struck her repeatedly. It was fast, and it was incredibly violent. So his father, Blake, hears the struggle, and he rushes into the room. And the reports paint this picture of just pure, paralyzing shock. Blake freezes, and in that final, terrifying moment, he asks the only question a parent could ask. He just says, "Why?" Tyler's answer to that question, it's become one of the most disturbing and most quoted parts of this entire case. He screams back, just fueled by rage, by the drugs, by whatever was in his system. Why the f*** not? And then he turned the hammer on his father. I mean, it's not an explanation, it's pure nihilism, a total detachment from any kind of consequence or meaning. It tells you his mind had already gone somewhere else entirely. The violence stops, and this bizarre, methodical focus just kicks in. His first goal is concealment, erasure. He drags both of their bodies into the master bedroom. And then, almost like it's a ritual, he places the bloody hammer right there between them. After that, he just starts grabbing anything he can find, towels, books, magazines, random papers, and just piles them on top of the body. A makeshift grave right there in the bedroom. The cover-up itself was frantic, but also strangely routine. He starts meticulously scrubbing the blood from the floors from the hallway. And it wasn't just scrubbing floors. One of the strangest details from the police reports is that he actually did a load of laundry. Think about that. He was literally trying to wash away the evidence, to reset the entire environment, to make the violence disappear, and then comes the pivot. The unbelievable part. He's just finished hiding his parents' bodies, and he logs onto Facebook. He posts a public invitation, "Party at my crib tonight?" Maybe? It's the ultimate act of denial. He's trying to force a new reality, a party over the horrifying truth that's locked behind that bedroom door. And by 11 p.m., it had worked. I mean, it worked spectacularly. Somewhere between 40 and 60 teenagers are at the house. They're drawn in by the music, the promise of a party with no parents. And everyone just assumes, like you would, that his parents are just out of town for the weekend. But the house itself, it wouldn't let the secret stay completely hidden. Even with all the noise and the chaos, guests started noticing things. Little unsettling details. Several people mentioned a strange sort of metallic smell in the air, especially near the hallway by the master bedroom. They saw sticky stains on the kitchen floor that looked like they'd been cleaned up in a hurry. Dark smudges on the walls. It's like the house was trying to talk. He couldn't relax, he couldn't join in. Witnesses all said the same thing. He was pacing constantly, sweating buckets, even though the AC was on, grinding his teeth. That internal conflict, the energy it took to keep that mask on it was destroying him. One guest later told investigators something that I think is perfect. He said the whole vibe was so tense it felt like the house itself was uncomfortable. And adding to that tension was this constant sound, the family dog.
It had been locked in a closet to keep it out of the way, and it just whined, non-stop, for the entire party. And all the while, that master bedroom door, just a few feet from the main party, stayed shut all night long. But that forced reality, this fake party atmosphere, was never going to hold. Eventually, it just shattered. Sometime late that night, Tyler finds his best friend, a kid named Michael Mandel, and pulls him aside. Mandel later said Tyler looked ghostly, pale, detached, almost like a robot. The combination of the drugs and the stress had just hollowed him out. And then Tyler says it, just cold and flat. He says, "I killed my parents." Mandel's first reaction was, total disbelief, cognitive dissonance. He thought it had to be some horrible, sick joke. But Tyler didn't laugh it off. He just repeated it, forcing his friend to actually hear the words.
Tyler said it again, and then he added the detail. They're in the bedroom. So Mandel goes with him to the door. He opens it just a crack, just enough to see inside. He sees the pile of debris, the shapes underneath, and that's it. That's the moment the joke becomes real. And what Mandel does next is it's psychologically fascinating. He gently closes the door, he walks back into the kitchen, back into the noise of the party, and he just pretends nothing happened. He blends back in. For a moment, he tries to force reality back to normal. But this is where we come back to that photo, the iconic image. Immediately after seeing the bodies, Mandel decides to take that picture of himself and Tyler. His reason was actually very deliberate and very dark. He said he wanted the world to remember exactly who Tyler Hadley was, captured in that precise moment. It was a conscious act. He was documenting the emptiness in his friend. So after taking the picture, Mandel finally leaves the house, and he calls the police. The party was winding down anyway by then. The sun was coming up. When the police got there, Tyler was completely calm. He answered the door. He was arrested without any resistance at all. The facade just fell away.
They found the bodies, of course, under the debris with the hammer still lying there between them. But they also found the evidence of the party, the red cups, the mess, and they found blood spatter in multiple rooms, showing how far the violence had spread and how poor Tyler's cleanup attempts really were. The scene was this grotesque collision. One of the detectives who walked in there said it perfectly. He said it felt like stepping into a nightmare wearing the mask of a house party. Tyler was charged as an adult with 2 counts of first-degree murder. The state argued premeditation. They looked at the methodical nature of the cleanup, the planning of the cover-up, and that negated any argument about the drugs. And that image we started with, Tyler, cup in hand, face blank, it went viral as soon as the story broke.